Youngblood's song Zombie. I reviewed it and it has made waves because it is just that profound. A beautiful tribute to nurses and healthcare workers, a beautiful tribute to anyone who sacrifices deeply and painfully. And now there's an acoustic version, so naturally I want to listen to it with you. Are you ready? Make sure to subscribe for music from around the world, from all genres and nations. This is a place where I want you to feel seen, where I want you to find education and really find a moment to pause. You know, where back in the day we'd ride along the road and pop in a CD or put on a cassette, depending on how old you are, or play the radio, and we would be exposed to new music. We would share with our loved ones the things that touched us deeply. Where words fail, music would communicate. This is the new radio, and I am honored to be your host. Welcome to Rosalie FM. Anyways, make sure your seatbelt is buckled on. Don't look at your phones while you're driving. And let's enjoy Yungblud Zombie. I love they brought in the cello for this. Oh.
If I was to talk about the words, they would hurt. They would hurt. So if you were to ask about the pain, I would
harmonies there between guitar and cello. Wow.
So say your prayers. You're almost there, but it's running out. It's running out. Oh, I know that I can't live without you, but this world will keep turning if you do.
goodness, Yungblud. Wow. The depth of this song. I'm so glad I listened to this again. I think I almost might like this even more than just the original. Cranberries' song Zombie has made waves around the world and has become, in my mind, a legendary song, a timeless piece. And I hope and I feel like Youngblood's Zombie deserves that too. Cranberry Zombie is just so powerful. Check out my review of that one. The song is so much deeper than I realized and I understood growing up listening to the story behind it, etc. And I feel like this is another song titled Zombie that deserves those accolades, or what the word is. I know this is dedicated to nurses, and I feel like there's beautiful dichotomy or duality that is conveyed through this song that goes both for the nurses as well as the patient, that depends on the nurse for his or her survival. But it also makes me think of anyone in a job that requires so much. This goes out to the mothers and fathers among you who have given so much. Many of you who have cared for an ill child or terminally ill child. This goes out to the people who have sacrificed in other healthcare professions, from firefighters to ambulance, the EMTs, to various healthcare professions, or people that were at the forefront in an emergency. The people that are there that see death and blood and gore and pain and suffering and sacrifice so much to care for others. People in the military who are hurting, who've given a lot of themselves for a cause they believe to be so important, and they're maybe sometimes losing themselves, hurting, feeling alone. I for this review, I know the original is dedicated to nurses, and I know I want to take away from that. Listening to this beautiful acoustic and just allowing myself to sit with this emotion, I feel like there are so many people that need to hear, especially nurses, yes, and doctors and those in the forefront. But anyone who asks that question, because this question, would you want me looking like a zombie? I think that taps into something very, very profound that goes beyond a vocational job, a profession, a career, into something deep psychological, which is that question of, would you want me? Would you love me if I am a walking dead man, if I have nothing left to give? If I was to talk about the words, they would hurt. Such beautiful songwriting, such poignant words. To talk about words is a powerful statement, because usually we don't think about talking like that. I say words to talk about something, but usually it's about the topic. I may use words that may be overrated or not to communicate, but it's about what I'm talking about that matters. In einer anderen Sprache ist es ein anderes Wort. In a different language, it's another word, right? Words can be overrated. It's what I mean by it that matters. And as humans, we do long for people to also know what we mean, to read between the lines, to not just take things for face value, but to see our pain. We might be angry and we long for someone to see that we're just hurting and we're longing to be seen. We don't feel seen. We don't feel loved. We might be emotional and cry and we say something, but we're fumbling for words, or in our joy and euphoria, it's hard to put in words what we're saying. And so to say, if I were to talk about the words, is interesting because it's talking about the very thing we use to talk. The words that come to mind when we're thinking about illness and death and people suffering. One of the places where we most come face to face with our deepest death anxieties and existential fears is when someone's health is at risk. When we have a loved one who is not well, when we ourselves are not well, it does something with the human mind. It could even be a minor cold or a minor stomach bug that puts us out for 2 days. And it makes you reappreciate, once again, being healthy or being alive. Not to mention if you have chronic illness or you have severe or terminal illnesses, that it changes everything as to what we think about life's meaning and existence. So we're speaking of a place where all those questions come up, where feelings are raw, pain is severe. And to say then, if I were to talk about the words, the things that are said to me, perhaps, nurses, they go through the fire. People can be so unkind. The things that are being said to them, the words that they're told, the words that they try to utter, but they quite can't find. If I were to talk about it, it would hurt, because, and this can be taken in different ways. I'm taking it through the lens of a nurse who may be told a bunch of words. But again, this can also be looked at in a broader sense, because people, they know what it's like to be verbally abused. Many people, nurse or not, know what it's like to be called names or for people to say words that are so painful, it would hurt to even just talk about it, even just talking about it, not to mention the pain that those words actually caused. If you were to ask about the pain, I would lie to fix my mind. I need time. This here, if I'm looking at it through the nurse lens and healthcare lens, I'm thinking about pain and all the horrific things people in healthcare see, that they need to lie to fix their mind. They need time to detach, to compartmentalize in order to not be completely destroyed by all the suffering that they see. And again, this also goes for things that people have seen in combat or in the military or as firefighters and police officers. There's people in the healthcare system, nurses and beyond, who see things, who experience and see such suffering. They have to lie, they have to detach, compartmentalize to fix their mind. Time is running out. And now we're talking about these heavy topics that we often find in emergency situations and in the healthcare field, after accidents, in crime scenes, in the hospitals. Time is running out. In those places, I feel like our mortality is more present than ever. It's always present, but we when we're healthy, when we're busy, we don't think about it much. I know that I can't live without you, but this world will keep turning if you do. I'm hearing here someone like a nurse or health provider or someone, first responder, saying, I can't live without you. This is my job. This is who I am. I was made for this. This is what I do. So you need a patient to be a nurse. You need a patient to be a doctor. You need to have a fire to be a firefighter. There needs to be a crime scene or an emergency to be a first responder. Otherwise, what are we responding to? And yet at the same time, the world keeps turning if you do. If you're not around anymore, without you, the world keeps turning. And that too is so painful in the face of death. When we lose someone, no matter how close, when you have a heart to save people and you lose someone, even if you met them 5 minutes ago, that hurts. That does something with a person to see death. Little kids suffering from cancer, people being rushed to the emergency after being shot or hurt, or things escalating to a point that cannot be undone. That is terrible. All the more, of course, if you know this person and there's an attachment here. But the world keeps turning. People die, and there's pain that comes with that. Would you even want me looking like a zombie? Would you even want me? And again, here I see a duality of a patient that is sick, that is hurting, of someone in need of a nurse, of a first responder saying, look at this. Would you want me? I look like a zombie. I'm a walking dead man. But at the same time, also, this first responder, nurse, etc., saying, I look like all worn out. I've given everything. I'm always looking at death. I'm a walking dead woman, dead man. Would you want me? Am I still loved? Do you see me? We could catch a spaceship to the moon, but it would crash. It wouldn't last. This too, I think, often something we come face to face with in these situations of emergencies and pain and death and sickness, because we understand things don't last. The joy, the happy moments, the ease of a pain medication that just kicked in, a surgery that went well, those good moments, they don't last, because here comes the next emergency. Here comes the next need. Moms and dads sometimes feel like this in their own way, right? It might not be blood and gore all the time, but there's plenty of mess and constant being on and meeting needs there too. Because the world is just a figment of the fools, a blank stare, they don't care. So you say your prayers, you're almost there. That's powerful, because I could see nurses saying this to their patients. You're almost there, you're okay, hang in there. Oh, makes me cry. And to put on a strong face as you see someone suffering in agony and you can't fix it for them. We're almost there, but it's running out. Time is running out, our energy is running out, and we are turning into zombies. Would you even want me looking like a zombie? The depth of this song is absolutely phenomenal, and I really, really hope that this song goes down in history, and Yungblud as an artist, as someone who really shaped music with emotion, with the depth, with his eccentric creativity. Beautiful composition. The cello and the guitar together, it was absolutely gorgeous. What are your thoughts on this? Subscribe, talk to me in the comments, and I'll see you on the next ride. Ayo!